Hi, we're the Macks. In this video, we're going to talk about our very first foster care experience. It was an emergency placement, so it's a little bit different, but it was definitely a memorable one. And we're just going to be sharing what the journey was like for us, the ups and the downs, the process, the real emotion of it. So, yeah, let's get into it.
Loving to the max.
So the first part that we want to share was about the application process. So we did a whole video on how to become foster parents in Jamaica, right? We would have gone through that whole process ourselves. So once we submitted our application form, the agency would have called us to confirm that they received it. And shortly after, we got some additional communication about what would come next.
Yeah, so we were assigned a caseworker. She called us for an interview. She visited our home, and we were able to, go through that process and get approved, within maybe the first 30 days or so.
Right, within a month. It was really, and there was also a training program. Training program that we needed to be a part of to understand and get an appreciation of what foster care does entail and what to expect as foster parents.
Yeah. So you'd have to worry about, filling out the application, not being ready, not getting any guidance. There is training provided, there is ongoing support. The thing is, after you're approved, and I think we were kind of trying to wrap our mind around this, but they literally said to you, once you're approved, any day you can be called. And so I think the difference, it was what, maybe 2 months for us from the day we got approved on our first call.
Less than 2
so
months.
So we're just, going about our day. We got a call. I think it was me who got the call, right?
But before that, way before that, I think it's important for us to share what the emotional process was for us, even in doing the application. So we would have shared in previous videos, in other videos, which we'll link below as well, about how we have been going through this process of trying to conceive, what our infertility journey has been like. There have been many emotions, many ups and downs that we've gone through. And when it is that the Lord said to us that we can adopt, but He started leading us down the path of foster care, we said, okay, Lord, full surrender is what you say. That's kind of the posture that we were taking. Whatever you say, Lord, that's what we'll do. And he led us down the path of foster care. And as we're going through it, we're also feeling like, are we ready? What is it going to be like? How much is our life going to change? And we're thinking about it in terms of both the pros and the cons. But what was overwhelmingly positive for us was just this desire to fulfill this call.
Yeah, so foster care typically is one of those things that most persons look to later on in life. So, actually for us, we in some ways we may be considered young candidates for foster care, and that's because usually persons are older before they consider it. But for us, this was just a part of the journey the Lord had us on. And so, as Renee said, we had to kind of wrap our minds around this. Are we ready? Is it something that we want to do? But we were certain that we wanted to be parents. We were certain that we wanted to welcome a child in our home, give them our love, give them everything that we had. And so it's just really, it's the kind of thing where you can't, as much as you can think about it and wonder about it, when you're in it, it will be completely different than everything you thought about before. The details will be more meaningful. It's all theory until you're in it.
Until it happens. Yeah. So it was worth it though, every moment of it was worth it. As we waited for the placement call, it was a little bit over a month after we got approved that we actually got the call. But that in between part where we were wondering, we did receive several calls actually.
Yeah. So I mean, we. So the interesting thing is, so we got a call one day. We're like, there is a potential child. These are the details, so and so and so. But that one didn't work out for reasons that we wouldn't want to share.
And that actually happened 3 times. So 3 times we would have seen them calling, and we're like, all right, yes, maybe this is the one. And you kind of just,
we're like, can we get a baby by now? Like, what's happening?
You kind of just on that roller coaster, like you're on edge because you want to get the call, but at the same time you're wondering, will it even work out? Because there's so many.
So you try not to get too high or too low.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, phone call, great, but then if you don't hear from them for like a couple of weeks, you're like, have they forgotten about me? Have they lost my application? Am I still a foster parent? Like those things kind of.
A lot of things run through your mind, and then you also start wondering if you should. How far ahead should you plan? If you're planning for a vacation or planning things for work, how do you plan? Because there's so much uncertainty, and I think maybe that's why persons do it later on in life, because there's less uncertainty.
Like your days are maybe more predictable,
right?
Stuff like that.
I don't know, maybe, but it was an interesting experience and a very emotional one. And we'll share a clip with you of a video that I actually posted on Instagram about the journey. So we've said in a few videos before that we have to support each other through, like Jermaine and I have to support each other through different emotional waves, right? Because things affect us differently and we go through different periods at different times, and thankfully we're not usually both in a slump at the same time, so we're able to help each other through. Today is one of those days from where we're on opposite ends of the spectrum. So we would have gotten a call 2 days ago that there was a possible placement for foster care for us, and so we were over the moon excited, and we made the final preparations yesterday in expectation that the child would have been with us yesterday. That didn't work out, and today was another day to try, right? And now it's 3 p.m. We haven't heard anything from the agency at this point, anything positive about it happening today. So I'm a little bit downcast at this time, while Jermaine is overflowing with hope. I mean, at the end of the day, at my core, I know that it is well. I know that it is all in God's hands, and that He will make this placement come through at the right time. But I can't help but wonder if there is something that maybe I should be taking authority over, or something I should be claiming that I'm not, or those thoughts and those temptations do come to mind. But I am here just processing the feelings and recording this as just a part of the journey too. We have said many times that the emotional journey for foster care is like a roller coaster. Definitely an emotional roller coaster, and I think we've shared more of the highs than the lows, and it's important for us to share the full story and to really show you that we have low days too, we have hard days too, but at the end of the day, we do know that our hope is in Christ. We do know
that his promises are yes and amen. We do know that it will come to pass in his perfect time, because his word will not fall to the ground, and he will not put us to shame. We will not be put to shame, because we stand for him and we stand on his word. So just sharing that with you guys. It's a tough day for me anyway, but as always, we get through it.
We chronicled as much of it as we could remember to chronicle. So we're going to be sharing that throughout this video for you guys.
Yeah. So we got the call, and it was like, I believe it was.
I got the call.
It was you?
Yeah.
Oh, it was me.
Was it?
Yeah, I think
it was
you.
You first.
Don't steal my call.
You got the first call. That's
Thank you.
true. You did.
So I think it was maybe it was earlier in the day,
It
right?
was 4:30 p.m. I remember.
That's about the time I was thinking. So I got the call, and it was like, so we have a child. He needs a home today. At first I was like, are you sure? Are you calling the right person? And then we're like, okay, cool. So I got off the phone, shared it with Renee. So I told her the details, told her we're waiting to hear about the next call. So it's like everything we're doing that day kind of
in
I
suspension.
don't even remember what I was doing that day.
Everything was in just suspended mode
Yeah.
at that point. Thank God it was the end of the work day.
Yeah.
So we were not distracted from our work.
So we're like, okay, let's pack a bag. Let's prepare ourselves. And at one point it was almost like, I'm not sure if it's gonna work, but we're like, listen, we're ready. No matter how late, no matter when, if it's midnight,
we're ready.
Because we were, in my mind, I was like, listen, because we have had the instances before where it almost worked out and it never did.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want tomorrow come and you change your mind. I'm coming today. So that was kind of my mindset.
So 2 hours later, around 6:30, we got the other call. That's the call that I got to say, can you come for him now? And we're like,
let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, we're ready. Let's roll. Like we were already dressed. We had keys in hand.
It's just from like an hour before. We're like, listen, we're ready.
And we were just there, just literally watching the phone, waiting for the call. And we were just out the door. As soon as they said come, we were out the door.
Yeah. And I mean, when we got there, so while we were on the way, it was just like this surreal feeling. It's like, is this happening?
Mm-hmm.
Not really sure how to feel.
Yeah.
And then when we got there, went upstairs, and I looked at, we looked at him. It was just like, I don't even know how to describe it. It was like, it was a moment that was perfect. I know the circumstances usually around foster care is not ideal, right? At least on the side of the parents.
Yeah.
But for us, because as a foster parent, you're looking forward to being a parent for a child that needs a home.
Yeah.
And so for me, I was like, is this real? Like, I'm there and I'm like, Lord, this is what we've prayed for. We've prayed for a child to give our love. And that was the moment. So I didn't know what to say. I found myself speaking, but it's like it wasn't me speaking. Like it was like my mouth was on autopilot.
He hardly even moved. He was like just stunned, which was the same for me. I was in this surreal place. It was like, wow, this is really happening.
Yeah.
This is really happening. Like we're going home with a baby tonight.
Yeah.
We're going home with a baby.
Yeah.
And when he was handed to me, I was just like, oh.
She didn't even see me after that.
Oh God.
She was like, I'm good, I'm gone. Bye.
I was like, oh my goodness, wow.
Yeah.
And he was such a mild-mannered baby. He's just amazing.
Yeah.
He's just amazing.
He's yeah.
He-
So I mean, we went home. So we got home maybe like after 8, maybe
No, after 7.
after 7.
Yeah, after 7, there was no traffic on the road. We got there quickly. We got back home quickly. We gave him a bath, and
I remember that first change, the first
Yeah.
diaper change, and he's just I don't think he cried. Did he cry? I don't think
he
so.
didn't. He didn't
It's
cry.
like he was, that to me meant a lot because it means he was comfortable. You know,
Yeah.
there was, to me, I kind of try to see whether or not babies are comfortable, whether or not they trust us. You know, it's weird, like a baby, what concept of trust does a baby have? But to me, it mattered, right?
Yeah.
He seemed comfortable. We fed him. He was eating, and I mean,
And then he slept. He just he
just
slept.
like a baby.
And then well, literally like a baby for the first couple weeks, because he would wake up every few hours, and we'd have to feed and change during the night, which was a whole interesting change
Listen
because
to me.
because with both of us working and dealing with a brand new baby. He was 3 months old at the time, brand new baby at home. It was just interesting. I am eternally grateful for the support of my work team and how they rallied around me and helped me.
Well, let me just say, we're grateful for the support of our community, our friends, our
family.
We got such an outpouring of love and gifts,
support.
and like we got everything we needed.
Yeah.
And it was just great to see persons being so willing to contribute, persons being so genuinely happy for us, and thank to even our pastors as well who helped us out greatly. And
who even came and did a drive-by blessing for
Yes.
for a bit, came in
yeah.
and did a prayer
next
and
day.
everything. Yeah, it was amazing
Yeah.
to see how much love everyone had for this little one who had joined our family for this time.
So I mean, we'll just say here that one of the things that we learned as a best practice for foster care is not revealing the name or a photo or video of the baby.
Because we must respect the privacy of the family and what it is that they may be going through, and also just the right of the child to
Have privacy.
have privacy.
So I'm saying that because I really wish that you could see this. It's the most pleasant, and just like he brings you joy.
Yeah.
Like you
He's
can't
pure
be
joy.
around him and be like he's such a pleasure to be his parents for the time that we were. So after the first couple of days when we had him here and we tried to figure out his sleep pattern, we kind of just spent the days trying to figure him out, how what's the right amount of food to feed him, what's the best ways to put him to sleep, how to entertain him. Right?
Yes.
Because he
Yes.
did not like sitting down. He did not like being in one spot for too long. And so, since we're both working from home in a pandemic, we were trying to just, make him feel comfortable, make him feel loved. And so,
And there were a couple of things for me. I went all in with the baby app. Baby Center was my app. And I'd be reading up every week, your baby this week. It would pop up on my phone and I would read through, okay, what should I expect this week? What should I be helping him to do? Should I be helping him to sit up? How do I prop him up? How do I help him develop his motor skills? How do I help him develop his core strength and his neck strength so that he can sit on his own? And it was just a whole
she was
learning experience.
all deeply involved.
Like, what color should his poop be? I was about all of it. One thing we shouldn't forget to mention though is the importance of taking the child to the doctor.
Yeah, so that was the first thing we did. That very first week, we brought him to the doctor, got him the shots that he was supposed to get, got guidance from
The
the
pediatrician.
doctor as to
yeah.
how we should take care of him, the amount we should feed him. So those things that we didn't want to take chances on because, I mean, it's not about being perfect, but it's about hearing the right and appropriate treatment, because in being parents, you get a lot of external feedback,
Yeah.
sometimes conflicting, and what we decided to do is say we're going to listen to professionals and then take that with all the other feedback and advice we're getting and then make the best decision from there. But we at one point when he wasn't well, the fact that we're able to call the doctor, get advice, take care of him, that was a big thing for us.
Yeah. So it was an experience from top to bottom. Like, first we felt like we were just thrusted in the deep end because you went from no baby to a whole baby.
I never felt ready.
Yeah.
Meaning your life just kind of went from 0 to 100 because there's a baby there every day.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like so one of the lessons learned for us and that we reflected on is like time together and intimacy. That was just because he did not want to go to bed. So usually for us would work for the day, record our videos, etc., and then we'd spend the hours of the evening into night together. The hours of the evening into night for him is I'm wide awake. And so he wants us to, it took us a while to get him to go to bed closer to 9 o'clock.
Yeah, so we had to do some trial and error to see when is the best time to put him down, because really he started sleeping through the night by about his second or third week with us, which was awesome.
Apparently
Which was awesome.
that's not a standard thing.
Yeah, so he started sleeping through the night and he'd wake up about 5 a.m. and I'd get up because that's my time, and I just spend the time with him. Very rarely would he wake up in the 1, 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Very rarely.
A handful of times.
But for the most part, he slept straight through the night, to the point where he started going to bed at 7 p.m., 7:30, and he would still wake up at 5 a.m. and I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
So,
though he will do that, one thing we learned not to do
yes.
is touch his door. Because he will sleep through dogs barking, cars passing, everybody talking. Touch him room door.
Yep, he's wide awake. He's like up immediately.
What's happening?
Yeah, but
so we're able to do some awesome things with him. Got to take him to the beach. That was a great experience for us.
yeah.
We got to do a photo shoot with him. That was just an amazing thing that we got to do.
And we're so blessed to have friends who were like, what? Yes, of course we'll do it. And provided that support and even edited the photos and everything and allowed us to have those memories. And we did that the weekend before he went back to his family, because we thought it would be important to remember him.
Yeah.
To remember him well.
So it was what? It was almost 4 months.
4 months, yeah.
And so the good thing is, at some point he was able to be reconciled with his birth family.
Yeah.
And so that's just something that comes a part of this process. It's something that we prayed for. We prayed for the Lord to do what was best for him.
Right.
And
Even if that meant a physical separation from us, because the Lord has a plan for him too. The Lord has a plan for his life and a plan for his family and a plan for us. So we wanted more than anything else for the Lord's will to be done. No, it hurt.
So tomorrow morning is court with our little one, and we'll find out if he returns home with us or if he returns to his biological family. So tonight we are packing his things in preparation for court tomorrow, because we don't know what the ruling will be. I'm a mess. I'm a mess. I knew it wouldn't be easy. We always knew though that with this kind of placement, because it was in fact an emergency placement and not a regular foster placement through like an institution, like a childcare facility or anything like that, we knew that there was a possibility of him being returned to his family once the required investigations were completed, depending on the findings. So that's something that the agency was very clear about from the very beginning. They said, this is not to be considered a regular placement, it's an emergency placement, so you're partnering with us as a place of safety for him. And we accepted that, because in our hearts and in our minds we're like, you know what, if the Lord is calling us to be in his life for just a season, then we're gonna do that. And we didn't feel like the Lord was saying this was a no. We believed he was saying go ahead, so we did. And I know that for sure this whole experience has brought out new levels of joy and peace and growth and maturity in us. It's definitely been a character building season. We know that of course we want him to return home with us, but we also think about his biological family and what they would want, and what it must be like for them. So we understand at the end of the day, our desire is for the Lord's perfect will for baby boy's life to be done. That's what we want. As difficult as it is, as heart-rending as it is for us, well, I don't know if Jermaine feels the same, but for me right now, yeah, as heart-rending as it is, whatever the Lord wills, whatever is his perfect will, that's what I want above everything else, and that's what I've been praying for. So whatever the outcome tomorrow morning, I'm trusting that that is in fact God's perfect will and perfect plan for him. But it's rough. It's rough. But yeah, making progress. A lot of his items are already out, and yeah, just preparing to pack the actual bag and be ready for court in the morning. Yeah.
It hurt because, listen,
it hurt because, so just context for us, we've been trying for children for over 9 years. So for us, the part that hurt wasn't even the fact that we had to give him up, but it's the fact that now there becomes this void again that was being filled.
well, I think that's a part of it, but I think the bigger part of it for me is that I fell in love with this kid.
I mean, you can't help but so the reason why for me that part didn't hurt is that, thankfully we're able to be a part of his life. So I have not, in my mind, I haven't lost him. We're still able to connect, we're able to visit him.
And we're grateful
We're able
for that.
so
We're grateful for his family being so gracious to allow us to continue being a part of his life, to continue checking in, to continue visiting him occasionally.
Yeah.
We're really, really grateful for that, because that does not always happen. Let's just be very clear. That does not always happen in these situations.
Yeah.
So that is a unique blessing. But I tell you, I connected with that baby. I connected with that little boy in such a way that I can't even explain. But
Listen,
I fell in love with
I wish I
him.
could share some of the things, but she wrote songs. You know, bath time was her thing. She spent every waking moment that she was not working with him.
I really
She,
did.
you know, she looked forward to the time after bath that she's combing his hair, that she, you know, dress him up. Every month was a photo day.
Absolutely.
You know, we were able to. I mean, so there was just so many special moments that we had. That may seem like a short time,
Yeah.
but it was quality time and it was meaningful time.
And you know, one of my friends who is a mom for a young child as well, she said to me, take pictures and videos every day, because the time goes so fast. And
I actually wish we did more videos.
so I'm this girl over here, I was like, I'm on this. So
Yeah.
literally I have a photo of him, of us, every single day that he was with us. And I did videos as often as I could. Jermaine wasn't vibing with me. He wasn't, you know, supportive of my videoing.
I wish I done that differently though, because I saved some videos, a handful, and I've cycled through them so many times, and I wish I had more.
Yeah.
Because, you know, by the time we saw him again, he had even grown so much.
Listen, we almost did not recognize him. But, you know, while he was here with us, he became family.
Yeah.
He became family. And even our mothers, they were like, oh my gosh.
Every day, Renee would call our mothers.
Each of them, yes.
And they had their one-on-one time, and so now, yeah.
So now they're missing him too. But, you know, in all that was happening, we knew that it would possibly be temporary. The agency was very clear about that, and we must give them kudos for that. With every conversation, they would say, are you clear that this is an emergency placement and it is not a guarantee that it will be for the long term?
So emergency, as Renee just said, it just means that it is considered temporary, you know, until some things are clarified, some things are either, you know, investigated or resolved. So that's why it was an emergency placement, and that's why we had to kept being reminded. But it's such a tricky thing, right? Because you don't know, it could have taken a day, a week, a month, a year.
Yeah.
You don't want to be detached, because that
Exactly.
limits your genuine love and affection and attention. So we gave ourselves, you know, entirely to the
100%.
process. Yeah.
100%. And that is something that I learned actually very early in our relationship when we were dating. The question was, do you want to be in this 50% and then wonder what it could have been if you had given 100?
Yes.
Or do you want to give it 100% and have no regrets at the end of the day? And that's something that
No
has
regrets.
carried with me for most of my life, because literally I've been with this guy for over half my life. So I take that approach, and I took that approach with this little one 100%, gave him everything,
Yeah.
everything that we had, and that was emotionally, financially, physically, like everything was given to him.
So here we are on our way to the courthouse. We've processed through a lot of emotions at this point, and we are now trying to hold on to our peace, trusting the Lord that His plan is perfect and His plan for us is perfect, and whatever the outcome is today will be according to His good and perfect will, because that above all else has been our prayer for God's perfect will to be done in this situation. We also acknowledge that the birth family must also be in some sort of pain, missing their son as well. So as much as he has brought joy and light to our lives, they are missing that joy and light. So as long as it is that they are willing and able to care for him, then we know he'll be okay, and we continue to pray for him. We will continue to pray for him regardless, whether he's with us or not. We will be praying for him consistently and continuously, because he's a part of us now. He is, and that's just what it is. He's a part of us. So let's hear what the judge has to say.
When we had to say goodbye, it was something that, it's for me, it wasn't even a real goodbye, because we're still a part of his life. But goodbye, I guess, from the day to day. Goodbye from, the bath time. Goodbye from, being the one to put him to bed.
Yeah.
Those moments for me, though, will always be, in my heart, will always be there. And, so we say it to persons who are trying to decide whether or not they should take, they should consider foster care. We say, don't predetermine what your experience will be. Pray about it, see what the Lord would have you do.
Right.
Don't let fear, don't let the possibility of it not working out deter you, because you may miss out on something great. Because for us, those were, almost 4 months that will forever change the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
And we would not take back anything, as painful as it was. We would not take it back.
Yeah.
And so we encourage you to, consider foster care. We encourage you to consider adoption, and to just see what the Lord may have planned for you. If you've thought about it, I think you owe it to yourself to explore it. At least go through the process, talk to someone, and see if you have peace to go through with the process.
Yeah. And it is bigger than us, guys. There is a purpose that is greater than what you can see in front of you right now. There's a purpose that's greater than the pain you might feel, and the pain we did feel. Even though it was as difficult as it was for us to go through, because believe us, the tears, the pain came leading up to sending him home, and they came after. But even with all of that, we wouldn't change it, because we know that the experience that he had here with us changed not only our lives, but it also impacted his.
I mean, after the pain and the tears, what's left is joy.
Yeah.
What's
that
left is
so
a
true.
wonderful experience. What's left are great memories that you'll take with you forever. So, I mean, I wouldn't trade that at all.
Not for the world.
So I want to thank you for watching this video, for being a part of this journey with us. Tell us, are you thinking about foster care? Have you thought about adoption? Let us know in the comments below. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. You can message us on IG at lovingtothemax, or just leave a question in the comments and we'll certainly get back to you. But this is something that we think everybody should at least consider or test. Pray to see if that's what the Lord would want you to do. And we have to rescue our children in state care. They need us.
Amen.